Hey, what's up guys, it's Polygon DP36 back here again with a special video. And in this video, I'm going to be ranking the 13 Star Wars films from my least favorite to my favorite. And I'm going to include some special ones. You'll figure out what the ones are included. Now, this video is based on my opinion. If you have a film that deserves to be higher or lower, please, I highly suggest, and since this is my video, my opinion, feel free to comment down your list of the Star Wars films from your least favorite to favorite. Like what would you rank your top 3, your top 5, top 13, top 12? Because I'm going to be including, yes, the holiday special and the Clone Wars movie. So without further ado, let's get this video started. So number 13 is the Star Wars holiday special from 1978. Now this, look, I've seen some worse shit, but this shit honestly makes The Last Jedi look like a fucking Oscar nominee, man. I really did not like this special at all. Like, I mean, I totally get it that this was made right after Episode 4 in order to keep, like, Star Wars in the mainstream era, but the execution was fucking garbage, bro. This, I mean, I know most people don't really consider the holiday special as a movie, but since it's like an hour and a half, and it's a special, and it was made after Episode 4, for me, I would just put this on the list and say that I really hate the holiday special. I really hate it, and I just do not like the holiday special at all. First off, the actors in this special, the special guest actors, were really off-putting, in my opinion. Especially that chef-looking person that was in the damn cooking session. That was garbage. The cartoon looked, even though it was the 70s at the time, it did not look that great looking back on it. And yeah, I do not like the holiday special. That's just me. I just do not like it. Number 12, Star Wars The Clone Wars from 2008. The movie, not the show. Yes, the show is way better than the movie, but the thing is about the movie is that even though it was originally going to be like a special on Cartoon Network back in 08, it was just the first 4 episodes like smushed in together, and the animation, even though it was improved over time, it for me it just didn't look that great in my opinion. The story though, I mean it's pretty below average to me. Like protecting Jabba the Hutt's son with Ahsoka and Anakin. It just really it felt like it should be a show instead of a movie. Like, I know George Lucas wanted like to get money off of like the Clone Wars debut and stuff like that, but I mean I'd rather prefer watching the movie as like 4 different episodes rather than mushed together, and it could save my time and stuff like that. So the Clone Wars is number 12. Number 11, The Last Jedi. Now, I do not hate The Last Jedi as much as a lot of people do. Like, there are people who hate The Last Jedi, and there are people who love The Last Jedi. But for me, I'm mostly in the middle of it. I don't hate it, but I do not love it. The cinematography of the film and the special effects are really damn good. Are really amazing. Probably the Star Wars sequel with the best cinematography and visual effects, thanks to Rian Johnson and stuff like that, and the producers of the film, definitely, for sure. However, my problem with the movie are the plot subjects, such as the casino scenes, which were, I feel like they wasted a lot of enjoyment of the film, because when I watched it, again, for the second time when it came out on Blu-ray, after watching it in the theaters when it came out, my enjoyment decreased significantly when I rewatched it in Blu-ray. I was like, I like it less now. It's one of those movies that I've watched a second time and I liked it less than the first time. Some of the acting in this movie went pretty off, especially for Captain Holdo. I feel like she was an unnecessary character in terms of her acting. I just felt like she didn't belong in this movie at all. I felt like she belongs like in more of like a Star Trek show, in my opinion, and personally for me. But I don't think she went well in this movie for me. But also, the Finn and Rose relationship from the beginning to the end went pretty off, in my opinion. I did not like it as much. I don't hate the Rose actor. I really don't. Much respect to her. I do not hate her. I don't wish her any immature death threats or anything like that. But I just did not like her role with relationship with Finn in the film. Speaking of Finn, I feel like his potential as a character was a lot wasted in this movie. Because after coming off The Force Awakens, I really wanted him to like evolve into a better character. Maybe like not saying he should be a Jedi, but as more a character that you really feel. You know what I'm saying? Like you really connect to a lot. You really like a great character. But his movie is kind of wasted in my opinion. But yeah, that's number 11. Okay, so number 10 is The Rise of Skywalker. Now, the thing with The Rise of Skywalker is that I wanted to like this movie a lot more than I do now when it came out in theaters, because when I watched it with my friends in the theaters during premiere, I was like, damn, bro, that movie, the effects were really good, man. The action scenes were pretty damn good. But like almost like The Last Jedi, when I rewatched, I've seen a lot of problems with The Rise of Skywalker, and sort of liked it less than I watched it in the theaters. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is for me. But The Rise of Skywalker is that there's like too many, like, you gotta go to this place, then you gotta go to that place, then you go to this place, this is your destination place. There's so many of that in this movie. It's almost like a scavenger hunt, man. And the character developments went pretty degraded in this film. Also, the fact that in the scene where Rey and Finn and Poe Dameron and the droids as well, they're like, you know, in this like sand sinking. You know what scene I'm talking about. And Finn says that he has to tell something to Rey, but we never find out what Finn has to tell Rey. And when that happens, there are problems, and plus many more. And I will review this film separately and talk about the problems, but I wanted it to like this movie a lot. But in the conclusion, I just felt like it could have been better. But this is a decent closing to a sort of messy sequel trilogy, as you can say. But yeah, that is number 10. Number 9, Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, this is one of the only Star Wars movies that I've actually never seen in theaters when it came out. I've seen the sequels, I've seen Rogue One in the theaters when they came out, but I've never seen Solo. And the thing about Solo is I didn't watch it because of the hate of The Last Jedi. No, it's not because of that. It's because I wasn't really interested of watching it in theaters. Like, yeah, it was a box office bomb, and a lot of people refused to go see it because of The Last Jedi, but I wasn't one of those people. I just didn't really feel like I should watch it immediately. I feel like I should just like watch it like when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, which exactly what I did. When it came out on Blu-ray, that's when I rented it from Redbox and watched it at home. I watched it twice, so I've seen good enough. But the thing with Solo is that it felt pretty dull, in my opinion. Some parts felt dull, and there's a lot of fan services in this film, definitely, especially the Darth Maul scene. Spoiler alert. But nothing too exciting ever happens in this film, to be honest. I wasn't that fulfilled with enjoyment as much as I did with Rogue One. But Solo is not really a bad film. It's just an average film. I would say it's just okay. Han Solo in this film, the actor, is pretty well as a young Han Solo, since this takes place around, I believe, 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but it takes place like right after Episode 3. But yeah, this movie could have been better, even though the directors of this film were fired before Ron Howard became director in the film and did a lot of reshoots and stuff. I mean, I sort of felt like that looking back on it and rewatching the film. I did see a lot of like, I could tell like whether this is like reshoot or not based on the tone of the film. I'm not really big of a fan of the tone. I mean, I didn't want this film to be like The Last Jedi, like, you know, like elements of comedy and stuff like that. I didn't really care about that, but I didn't feel a lot of enthusiasm and enjoyment as I should have with Solo. But however, special effects are great. The only thing I would kind of complain about the special effects in this film, watching it on Blu-ray, watching it in Disney Plus as well, that it kind of looks dark, kind of like an Alien vs Predator Requiem dark. Like you can barely see the film in terms of like the color. Like, it's kind of hard to see like the details and stuff like that in a brighter color, which I don't really hate. It's just a little slight complaint that I have about the film. Number 8, The Force Awakens. Now, when the anticipation of the movie and the teaser trailer came out, I was like excited. My 10-year-old self was like so hyped for this film. It was one of the most anticipated films as me when I was in 5th grade before this movie came out, because I was like, oh man, I really want to watch this film. I'm like so excited. Star Wars is going to be back at theaters. A new trilogy is coming. It's going to be so good. I mean, I sort of got that with The Force Awakens. But the problem I have about The Force Awakens is that it feels a lot like Episode 4. A lot. Like, not beat for beat. I mean, like, there's a lot of similarities with Episode 7 and Episode 4. In Episode 4, R2-D2 has to get plans for the Death Star to Princess Leia. In Episode 7, BB-8 has to give details of the location of Luke Skywalker to Princess Leia and the Resistance, as you could say. They're almost like Rebels, but it's not Rebels. They're the Resistance. Yeah, and a lot of renames, changes of names happen in this film, basically. But ignoring that fact, it's enjoyable. The humor in this film is actually pretty good. It's not as bad as The Last Jedi was. Last Jedi took it like to a whole other mediocre level in terms of like humor. But in this film has a lot of good humor. I'll say that for sure. Even looking back on it, it's a pretty good film for what it is. In the sequels, it's a pretty good starter. Thanks to JJ and thanks to the actors and stuff like that. And I really did enjoy The Force Awakens. And I still do. I still do enjoy it. I enjoyed it then, and I still do enjoy it now. Special effects, like I said, really amazing. I really do love the special effects in the film. Yeah. Even though I could see a lot of similarities from this film to Episode 4, it is an enjoyable film. Number 7, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, rewatching this film has improved my likeness for Episode 2 a lot. More than I did back then. The romance in this film, I know a lot of people hate the romance. I totally get it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's totally fine. But for me, here's a little thing. Back in 8th grade, I remember reading, for about a couple months, I remember reading Romeo and Juliet and watching the both film adaptations, the one with DiCaprio and the other one from the 1960s or 50s, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please comment down below which one it is. I know it's either one of the 50s or the 60s, either one. And when I rewatched Episode 2, I've seen a lot of similarities to Romeo and Juliet with the romance and how George Lucas was inspired by Shakespeare in terms of the romance. And I actually really do like it. A lot, actually. It's not the best romance in film history, but it's really great. I'll say that for sure. And the story has actually improved. My likeness of the story has improved a lot. Because back then, this was actually one of my least favorites. And now it's like improving a lot. Like my enjoyment has increased because of not only did this movie is the beginning of the Clone Wars, which Obi-Wan talks about in Episode 4, if you remember, but it just also adds the themes of like reveals and stuff like that, and like more in depth of how the Clone Wars like started, of like what happened prior to when it started. So Episode 2 is actually pretty good. I do like it a lot. I'm sorry, Episode 2. It's a really great film. Number 6, Rogue One. Now, with Rogue One, I know why people do not like this movie as much. I understand why people don't like this as much as other people do, in my opinion. And I get that some of the characters can be bland because we don't know nothing about them. But what really, connected me a lot to enjoying this film is the battle of getting the plans and even the final scene with Darth Vader. It was like, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. However, I really do enjoy Rogue One a lot. Jyn Erso and K2SO, I believe that's his name, are one of my favorite characters in the film. And the Force user as well is actually a really good character that I can connect to, that he believes that he has the Force and stuff like that, even though he's not a Jedi. And even, spoiler alert, even though they all died, which is really sad, it's pretty emotional for me. Like, I understand if you do not like this film. I understand if you think the characters are bland. But having seen this film a couple times, my enjoyment has been stable, has increased a little. And I really do enjoy Rogue One for what it is, as a prequel to Episode 4 and the original trilogy as well. So yeah, Rogue One is a really great film. Number 5, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, for me, I've always enjoyed The Phantom Menace when I was young, when I was 9 years old. I remember enjoying it and ignoring all the hate. This also goes for Episode 2 as well, for my enjoyment. The politics in this film are well handled, as the themes of politics. It's well handled in this film, and it's okay if people do not like it. I personally do. I know a lot of people are going to disagree on me on that, but it's actually really good. And also the theme of manipulating, as Palpatine was doing in this film with Padme. It was actually smart move right there. The Duel of the Fates, amazing. The soundtrack of this film, amazing. This goes for soundtracks of the previous ones I've said. All of the soundtracks are actually amazing. All of them. I mean, I'm being really honest. All of them are really good for what they are. But Episode 1 has one of the best soundtracks in a lightsaber battle ever. The Duel of the Fates with Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, easily top 3 of the best lightsaber soundtracks ever. But yeah, Episode 1 is just really great, man. I really do enjoy Episode 1 for what it is. Number 4, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Or back then, 1977, up until 1981, just Star Wars. This is the film I've seen the most out of all 13 films. I remember watching Episode 4 multiple times on cable because it was the only Star Wars film that was on cable. And when I got back home, I would just always put on Star Wars Episode 4 a lot, man. Like, I've seen it many times. I still do enjoy Episode 4. I know a lot of people are going to put Episode 4 to number 1 and stuff like that. And a lot of people be like, why you put number 4 in number 4? Like, stuff like that. But I just really seen this film so many times to the point where I just have to say it's a classic. Star Wars Episode 4, it's a classic. It is. Because when this movie came out, it just went straight into the story, the middle of the story, before there was prequels and sequels. We just went into the war between the rebels and the Empire. And yeah, Episode 4 is just a classic. Number 3, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Episode 6 has grown on me a lot. For me, I thought Episode 6 was the weakest out of the original trilogy, but watching this film again, it just grew on me like a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It did grow on me. And I know I put Episode 4 before Episode 6. I'm not saying Episode 4 is the weakest of the trilogy. The Star Wars original trilogy is definitely one of the best trilogies out there, for real. And Episode 6 grew on me a lot, and me into liking it and loving it a lot as I've progressed with this film. Yeah, the beginning of the film, it can be slow sometimes, but also it just gives you a depth of like how Jabba the Hutt is, what he does, how he does things, and we get to see like the truth reveals of Leia being Luke's sister, and even the sacrifice that Darth Vader made to saving himself from the dark side to being good is it's executed extremely well, in my opinion, as I've seen this movie a lot. And back then I used to think that the lightsaber battle between Darth Vader and Luke was like disappointing, but having to see this, just Luke doesn't want to fight Darth Vader. He doesn't want to kill him. He wants to bring the good in Darth Vader. And then after refusing to fight the Emperor and Darth Vader, after having to refuse when Vader's his hand gets cut off, it's really good. It's really good. Episode 6 definitely worth checking out for sure. Episode 6 definitely worth checking out, a rewatch for sure. And yeah, so that is number 3. Number 2, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Yet another classic right here. Episode 5, I got a poster right there. I love Episode 5 to death. I really do. The twist revealments of Darth Vader being Luke's father. Definitely one of the best revealments in film history. And one of the best cliffhangers in film history right before Infinity War came. This was one of the OG cliffhanger films. And I purely love The Empire Strikes Back for what it is. With the characters, with the story, with the plot. Like, the bad guys win. They just win. They just strike back after a failure from Episode 4, and now they're striking back, defeat, and all you see is like, it connects to life. Like, this is the Star Wars film that really connects to life a lot. Like, Like, you can't always win. You have you can go through failure sometimes. You can go through other people winning that you don't want to see them like succeed over you, stuff like that. Not in a jealous way, but more of like an antagonist way. It really does connect to life, but I can explain this more when I do the Empire Strikes Back review, which is definitely coming soon. But it's just a classic. And number 1, Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. And for our final spot, number 1, as my favorite Star Wars film, Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. Easily one of the greatest prequels of all time. Easily. It is, for me, the best Star Wars film. We see the fall of a good person named Anakin Skywalker and the upcoming rise of the evil Darth Vader. And we see all of this dark action that's going on in this film. This one, I am really grateful that George Lucas decided to make this film as realistic and dark thematically for Darth Vader and for his fall as Anakin Skywalker. And the execution, fucking amazing. This is the second Star Wars film I've seen multiple times and rewatched multiple times. And the memes, of course the memes. Of course I'm going to bring up the memes. The memes really bring this movie into GOAT status, greatest of all time status. I love Episode 3, man. And, you see how the Jedi became extinct in the first place. You see the rise of Darth Vader. You see all of the pieces being set to complete the circle for the prequels and the originals all connect for a Star Wars saga. And I love it, man. I love Episode 3 a lot. I know I should get an Episode 3 poster soon, shortly. I'll get a poster soon because I only have The Empire Strikes Back, and I do have an Episode 4 one right there. But definitely, I will review Episode 3 shortly soon. But yeah. So, that is my ranking of all 13 Star Wars films from least favorite to favorite. From the worst to the best, I guess you could say. Either one doesn't matter. This was kind of hard to make. I've been planning on making this video as one of my new settings of my YouTube channel, like making these type of videos where I do rankings and reviews of movies. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up for today's video. Hope you subscribe and like. Please, comment and stuff like that. Comment your rankings on the Star Wars films. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? How would you rank the films? And your honest opinion. Please comment down in the section, man. Feel free to express your opinion. You can agree or disagree with this for my list. It's totally fine. It's totally my opinion of the list. So feel free to comment. But yeah, thank you so much. Hope you liked the video, and yeah, peace out.
Yo, that was me from the past. I am going to record this right now. I actually made this video on October 24th, 2020. And today, as I'm going to upload this video, is October 24th, 2021. So this video was like kind of like a time capsule of when I'll upload the video because I was so busy at the time. A lot of shit was going on, so it took me a little while to upload and make this video. I know I could have uploaded this way sooner, but I feel like, you know what? I had this in my phone for so long, I'm just gonna wait for a year to upload this video. There's no big deal. At least the video's out. I made it as raw as possible. I know I could have added the images for the movies and posted shit like that, but it is what it is. And hope you enjoyed it though. Hope you liked it. So yeah, I'll make new videos soon. But yeah, and thank you so much for the 1K subscribers. Just want to point that out. And I was actually gonna wait. I admit I was actually gonna wait until I get 1K subscribers to put this video out, because otherwise this would have been like, a little waste. But at least I'm putting this out. So thank you guys for getting me 1K subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I might be opening a Patreon soon, or link my PayPal down so you guys can send me some payments for some new videos and ideas, and I got you guys. But yeah, thank you so much, man. And yeah, peace out.
Shit.